they respect that you took the day. Because when you see yourself starting to get snippy, our children watch every move we make. Your makeup's not done. My students, I never wore jeans to school. I feel I am a professional and I don't wear jeans. I have a friend of mine who's a pre-K teacher. Of course she's got to wear jeans. It's complete opposite. You forget it. Right, she's pre-K. We are best friends. But trust and believe, I want nothing to do with her children. And I am a high school person. And she wants nothing to do with mine. She said, the kid's too old. But we understand when we need to stop. Every morning, I am blessed enough to be able to talk to an educator or a colleague early in the morning, 6 o'clock. Hey, how you doing today? What's going on? How are you feeling? You ready to go into that building? That's before I even get to the building. I get my energy from someone. I one time had one of my friends said, you do not sound right. You need to go in late today. Go in second period. Take a minute. Because you're going to impact the students. Find somebody who can do that for you. And it doesn't have to be in the same state you live in. But we, as educators, need inspiration. We are human. We are not robots. We see your children more than you do during the school year. You get them in the summer and nights and a little bit in the morning. That's the truth.
It's true. It is true. But I tell parents, I said, they're with the teachers, but when they come, it's a team effort. It is a team effort. You need to know what's going on with your kid. Don't tell me, oh, they don't understand this math and they're incapable of doing it. No, what role are you playing in helping your child? Are you reaching out to that teacher? Are you a part of that team? Not expecting the teacher to do everything, but you hit the nail. There's so many things. You hit the nail. Self-care. You hit the nail in everything. And Kalanda says there's an increase in evaluation needing after the pandemic. There's such a need for more resources, need for services. Our parents, how can we as an educator encourage a parent to get these resources? Often, I love the fact that you're even talking about self-care and resources. How can we encourage our parents to get additional resources and to say they need help? Sometimes parents don't want to say that they need help.
Sometimes your pride will take you down. In terms of resources, just like I said, for educators, we need a day. Parents, we need a day. Come on. The educators are so happy that summer's coming, and the parents are like, ooh, what am I going to do? Do I have a camp? I need a minute. It's not that I don't love my sons. I just need a minute. Give me a minute. I don't want to cook one more thing today. It's just a minute. Parents, we need to take a pause. Find the joy in what we do and get back on the horse and continue. When I speak to my team for my sons, I was taught this by Miss Susan Coleman, who I still know to this day. I was having some issues at my oldest son's school. And she said, remember, Danielle, you don't see what's happening in the school building as much as you think you do. Don't assume that they are against you. Assume that they're trying to help you. I had to soften my blow. I'm very intense, and I know that about myself. But my intensity doesn't mean that I don't care. It just means I'm going to read everything. For parents, we have to take a breath in and a breath out. We are on a journey to greatness. I want to repeat that.
Yes.
We are on a journey to greatness for our children. They will be great in whatever they figure out they're going to do, because the fact of the matter is, parents, we will not always be there for our children. It will happen. I lost my
Yes.
mother this year, so September of this year, beginning of my school year. 51 years old. I didn't expect it. I didn't want it. But it's the truth. But she prepared me to be the adult I am, and is still preparing me in heaven. I want a full independence for my children. That's what I think about.
Yes.
How are my boys going to be
Yes.
fully independent of me?
Yes.
Of course, I want them to get married and have children, but I need you to be fully independent. I do not care that my son, Alan, has autism. I do not want him to have a nurse. I do not want him to be in a group home. Absolutely not. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Not doing that here. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. So,
Yes.
parents, just take a minute. Take one thing at a time. One of the things that I do to organize myself, since I have two children with disabilities, I pick a day, and that's when I communicate to the school. So I have two different schools, two different sets of services, two different types of programs. So what I do is say, okay, Tuesday is Aaron and Thursday is Alan. And those days I know I'm going to at least send a couple of emails, check in, talk to, find something. But I also, and I'm getting back to something you said before, I ingratiate my children in extracurricular. Both of my boys are now part of
Yes.
Kappa League in the Brooklyn, Long Island chapter. Shout out to Sean Mason. They are both members of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated. I've got to work on, when I finish this, I'm going to be working on Alan's speech, because he's running for a position in Cosmos, which he told me about, which I'm excited about. And I was like, okay, Alan, let's get it going, right? I have kids in sports, basketball, soccer, uh, absolutely all the time, football, and it didn't matter if they had disabilities or not. Figure it out. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very open about where my children are. You will need to. One of my sons, my youngest, has hearing loss. So when he was playing football, I would tell the coach, "I know you think that you're being mean, but you're not. Pull his gait, talk to him so he reads your lips, so he knows what he wants him to do." He would say, "Really?" I'm like, "Yes." That's how you're going to get him to perform. So it's really important for parents to be open. It's not easy, though, to reveal. But what I realized about my sons is that it wasn't their embarrassment, it was mine. I had to get over me. It was me, Danielle Williams, who didn't want to tell people that her child was autistic and this, and I have another child. I didn't want to do it. I was worried about how everybody was looking at me. Nothing to do with my sons. My sons are happy around,
Mm.
playing on roller coasters, in the beach, doing this, living life to the fullest. And I'm walking around going, huh, huh, huh. Are they going to look at him? Are they going to say something? All me, all me, all
Yes.
me. I had to get over myself. That's what happened.
Yes. Woo.
And when I finally got over
You
myself,
hit the
and when I finally got over myself, and then they've got friends who are autistic. So it's like a whole crew of them. I'm like, whatever. They don't care. They're still teenage boys. They don't
yes,
care.
yes, they
Whatever.
are. Um,
They look at you like, please, can you just feed us and leave us alone? Let us play on the internet or something. So I made a choice to instead, one, I had to make a choice to let it go. And then two, I made a choice to open my mouth and to be constructive in what I was saying. I consistently say that no one will take the greatness away from my children, not even me as the mother. There are sometimes I've doubted my sons. They have proved me wrong many times. And I said, ugh, shook my head and said, Danielle, stop it. Why are you limiting them in your mind? Do not do that. They will surprise you.
fear factor. I mean, I know it for myself because there's oftentimes I'm like, no, he can't do this, he can't do that. And you're so fearful, you're limiting him. I'm like, okay, yes, he can. And when he does it, I'm like, I am so surprised. I'm like, oh my God, it's me. It's my own issue. How the world is going to portray him, how the world is going to see him. For us, we didn't tell our family or our friends for a while. They didn't know that Trey had until we did our first book. They weren't aware. A few of our friends we told, but to actually say it out loud, we did not tell no one initially that our son had autism. How would they think of him? How would they look at him? And for me, I was the soccer mom, and he had a lot of sensory issues, and I was on that field. I said, no, we got to do something because these parents got to understand, even though he has autism, he was great at soccer. He was amazing at soccer. And I said, no, I said to my husband, we have to do something. We have to do something because I know he's going to be great. I know he's going to do amazing things. I tell my daughter, as well, because I saw parents that said, I don't want you to think you have to stop your life for Trey. I want you to live. I don't want, yes, something could happen to mommy and daddy, but we're going to make plans and we're going to ensure that he's independent and we're going to give him everything that he needs. So you don't have to stop your life. Yes, you're going to, she acts like she's the big sister and she's not, but I'm grateful of that. But I still want him to do what he has to do for himself. And when he does these things, recently Trey just got accepted for Summer Youth. We're so excited, the pride and the confidence I saw in his face. And I'm like, oh my God, how is he going to do the pride in it, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things that I'm looking back on myself that I didn't let him do because of my own issues. And I tell, let's remove our own issues because they can do great things. They can. And we have to they may do it in a different way, but we have to give them an opportunity to try. Just because you feel like something doesn't mean it's a failure. You continue trying again, try different ways. And for me, I've learned, Trey is 17 now. I've learned so much. I've learned so much through this journey that I'm able to, this is why we're having this conversation. Because I want those parents that are newly diagnosed to know exactly what we're saying is not a death sentence. They can do great things. Learn from everything that we've been through. And, I'm just grateful that you're sharing so much. You gave us so much, a wealth of knowledge. Now, you talk about the 3 Ps.
Potential,
what the 3 Ps are.
Power, possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Every child has the potential to thrive. It is the obligation of the educators to open up the possibilities.